What's up, guys? This is Nick Evans again with PDCpoker.ag, here to talk about a 9-table sit-and-go known as the Dolphin Room on the Merge Network that I played in yesterday, and I felt like I played it pretty well, and I'm just going to go over what I did and what some key points in this and how you can effectively use what I'm using to profit more and to become a more consistent earner in poker. First of all, the most important thing is how the pay structure is in the Dolphin Room. And here's the Dolphin Room right here. It's $2.20 buy-in. Top 3 gets paid. It's 9 people, and it's 7-minute levels. So it's relatively fast. It's like a turbo structure on PokerStars or Full Tilt. Third place gets $3.60, so it's a little under half your buy-in made. Second place gets $5.40, which is a little like 2.5 your buy-in, and first is $9, which is just grand. That's what you're shooting for, obviously. Big jump from first to second, and relatively small jump from second to third. But third place is not what you want. It's not making a lot, but it's not losing. So, anyways, let's get into it. I don't play a hand for a while. I try not to get involved with the small blinds, and I started out on the small blind, but I just didn't get involved. Didn't get involved with the button, all these marginal hands. I try not to get involved. As you can see, one person just got knocked out. Basically let the people knock themselves out early when they fight over the 10 and 20 blinds. It's stuff that's relatively worthless, like this guy just shoved with or maybe called a shove, I don't really care, but pretty sure he called a shove with a draw. And that was a bad play too, I think. But anyways, I just don't get involved and let them knock themselves out, let the fish knock themselves out, and then the rest of the players seem to be tight. And not only that, you build up an image of being really tight, and that really comes to an advantage at the end of the game when you start shoving for blinds that are actually worth something. You get a lot more respect for it, and you can pretty much shove with any 2 cards, and they're going to believe you unless you start abusing it. Because you were tight early on and they have you labeled as a tight player. Now, I think I'll play his hand for some reason. Yeah, this guy raised under the gun. And I don't know why I called, to be honest. I don't know what kind of flop I was looking for. I would definitely just fold here. But I flopped a 4, and that's always going to get you in trouble. So I let out. If he missed the board, I'm going to steal, but he calls. So I just checked to him. He bets a little over half a pot, and I'm out. And I just lost close to 80, 90 chips that didn't need to be lost with honestly a shitty hand. 2-7 offsuit. I haven't played a hand, haven't raised a hand, so it folds to me, and I just raise to 3x and get 2 folders simply because I haven't played a hand. I mean, they could have had a hand there, but they're not going to call very loosely because I haven't done that yet. So I'm using that to my advantage. Ace-2 on the big blind. Oh, it's a little glitchy. Ace-2 on the big blind. I don't know how I make money here. It must fold to me. He raises, and I actually re-raise him. The reason why I did that is because this guy shows really loose. On my heads-up display, I remember he raised around 20% of hands, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. Especially early sitting guy, I think it's stupid. So I decided that I would re-raise him, and I do have a decent hand, flopping hand. I have a straight, and I have ace high. He can easily call with just about anything, but he gets out of the way. And I know we don't make risks like that. The only reason why I did it is because I knew I could get away with it, and I knew he was gonna have to fold. Basically, if he had a really good hand, I don't think he would have bet that much too. That's another point. He bets an amount that looks like he's trying to push me off. He bets 3.5. If he had the pocket aces or the pocket kings or the ace king, he would want you to call, so he wouldn't bet that much. 3.5x bet just looks like he's trying to steal, so I re-steal with a little over 2.5. And that's kind of standard on my end. I like betting around 2.5 to 2.7, and I try to keep it the exact same so nobody can read me. And that's a cheap way. If he would have called, then I would have been out pretty cheap. let's see. Let's analyze this hand one more. I have 1375, so I'm under the starting stack. And if he were to call this, I'd have 1130, and I just can't make any more mistakes. But I have a shove stack. I would have a shove stack, and it would be more of a shove or fold situation, and it's pretty easy to get the blinds back. I don't know. It's just not that hard to get your chips back, I don't think, when you have a tight image. Anyways, that's the play I thought was right at the time, and it worked in my favor. I don't know if I would do it next time. I don't know if it's the best play. I don't know how I make chips here. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit loose, but I raise here in the middle position, and I know I can tell you why I did this. This Erithicus guy labeled on my heads up display was a rock, which means he doesn't get involved in like anything. His pre-flop raise is under like 6%, and his flop seems under like 10% or so. So he's basically not getting involved, and I knew these guys to my left wouldn't get involved because there's a need for them to. They're actually decent players. And I'm obviously have a tight image still. As you can see, all this folds through there. I have a tight image. So when I do raise, I get respect for it. And this Grand Bay guy, he is a fish, but he's not going to get involved because he's only in for 25 chips. So unless he has a really good hand. And what's the odds of that? Anyways, I just fold these. They get raised to me, so I'm folding my blinds. I'm not protecting blinds with King 10. He raised under the gun, and last time he did that, I got in trouble. I would have called with King 10. Go ahead and make that clear, but this guy re-raised, so it's easy fold. Let's see here. Queen 10, I don't play those hands. Small blind, I would raise the blind in most cases, but he got raised before it came to me, so that's why I didn't raise it up with Queen 10 offsuit. It's not a great hand. Don't think it is. It looks pretty, especially when it's suited, but it's just not that great. If you do, this hand will get you in trouble, and this gets a lot of people in trouble. And this is another point I'm trying to make. A lot of Jack Queens, Jack Kings, and Queen 10s, and all those hands that look pretty, they don't play well to raises. They're obviously not too bad if you raise first, but if somebody calls your raise, you have to be kind of weary. If somebody has ace queen and you hit a queen on the flop, you're probably not going to be able to fold, and you're going to be absolutely dominated, and you're probably going to have to call off your whole stack when you are essentially drawing dead. So with that being said, I think that's pretty much explains itself, but I don't get involved with these marginal hands. All that is like straight value. If you make it straight, because I never feel safe when I have a queen with a 10 kicker or 10 with a queen kicker. So I don't even know if it was safe with 10s, but somebody's betting hard. Anyways, ace 9, I remember this. I raise it up, and I'm getting a little looser. Obviously, I'm raising about once every time around the table, which is semi-loose. So I'm getting a little bit of a loose image. This guy, not sure why he reshoves. It looks really weak, but it's the first time he's done it, so I just fold. Give it to him. Next hand was a fold. Pocket 9s, middle position. I raised to 3x. Now I said I like doing 2.5s, but I didn't here. It's kind of strange. Yeah, it's kind of a lazy play. I didn't feel like typing it in. I just clicked ×2. So I do get a caller, and this is the hand that the biggest hand in the tournament for me, I believe. So pocket 9s, pot 700. My stack's 1,000. His stack is 1,100. He bets 400, and I'm not just gonna fold like that because I raised pre-flop. He probably has me beat, but when my stack's this small and there's that much up for grabs, I'm not just gonna let him take this with one easy, quick stab. So I'm gonna call one street. Now, this card comes up, and that's a really sick card. It makes a straight draw. The 9-10 would have a straight, but that's kind of far-fetched. But it's also the heart draw. And this is what's so special about it, is I have position over this guy. And as you see, and if you don't know what position is, it means you're the last to bet. So they have to bet before you. And that's all. You always want to have position over somebody if you can. Now, see, on the flop, he bets 400 and the 700. On the turn, he bets 100 and a 1500. You can obviously see that he doesn't like that card. It could be a trap, but that would be really bad, a really bad play because he only has 600 chips. He should just shove here if he has anything close. This bet shows me that he does not have a heart and he does not like the heart draw. And he's absolutely terrified of it, honestly, but he's putting in a blocker bet. So instead of folding, which I obviously would have folded, if he would have shoved here, I would have folded. I call. And I didn't get fancy and reshove. I think that looks pretty weak when you reshove. You're not trying to get value, you're trying to push somebody off. If you're trying to get value out of a hand you think's the best hand, you would not try to make someone fold. And shoving tries to make someone fold. I can see through that. Good players can see through that. It's not profitable. And that's essentially how you make money at these tables, is people making bad plays like that. When someone shoves, I can almost guarantee around 75 to 80% of the time it's a stone cold bluff or a middle pair or a draw. So I call. I want it to look like I have a strong hand still. Now this card's obviously way sick. Now he either just made a really weak flush, because he would obviously, I think, would have shoved with the ace. If he had an ace of hearts and then like something else, maybe the queen or the jack, he hit the board. He made that pretty clear. He would have bet that turn with all in, I think. 1,500 in the pot and he had 710. But he didn't, so I'm assuming he has absolutely no hearts. And that's an assumption, but it's a fairly good one, and the story just makes sense. So he checks to me. That's pretty weird. Again, like I said, if he was bluffing, he would shove. People don't bluff with a top pair, so I'm putting him on a queen, probably king queen. He called my 3x raise, and I shove. And he folds. So that was a really good read. A lot of times in these lower buy-in stuff, like the $2 Dolphin rooms and stuff like that, you don't have to really have good reads and bluff people at all. You just basically let the fish knock each other out, and you basically just sit back and wait for your big hands, and you almost always double up on your big hands because the people, like I said, don't know how to fold queen 10. And when you have ace queen, they bet off their whole stack with the top pair, and you get paid.